The first trailer for the Marvels suggested that a brand new organization called Saber is appearing in the MCU, and as far as I can tell, it's an original concept with no basis in the comics. That's actually decently impressive because Marvel Comics loves creating groups like S.H.I.E.L.D. with thematically appropriate acronym names. So I thought this week it might be fun to, very briefly, touch on a few of those groups, including some that we've already seen in the MCU. S.W.O.R.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. in space! Yeah, it's S.H.I.E.L.D., but specifically started to deal with aliens, and given how often alien invasions happen in the Marvel Universe, you can guess how successful they are at that. Recently, they've become aligned with the mutant nation of Krakoa as sort of a space research and diplomacy arm, allowing Krakoa to negotiate with the rest of the universe on behalf of our solar system. We've seen S.W.O.R.D. in the MCU and WandaVision with a focus on sentient weapons instead of worlds, although it was also implied in the same show that the name change was a relatively new one. Armor. S.H.I.E.L.D., but for alternate realities. Usually this amounts to fighting a lot of multiversal zombie incursions, although they also tangle with Lyra, when she first arrived in the main Marvel reality. Alternate Universe Hulk daughter. Feel free to rewatch the Who is Scar episode of Poorly Explained Comics if you need a refresher. Wand. S.H.I.E.L.D. Wart's Department of Witchcraft and Wizardry. S.T.A.K.E. S.H.I.E.L.D., but for monsters and other supernatural stuff that Wand apparently doesn't do? Field agents include Werewolf, Vampire by Night, Manphibian, Man-Thing, Orgo, and Hitmonkey, for some reason. Spear. S.H.I.E.L.D., but for China, and one of the only two groups on this list that I don't actually know what the acronym stands for. As far as I can tell, nobody does. Strike. S.H.I.E.L.D., but for Britain. They were also featured in Captain America the Winter Soldier, as a specialized unit that Steve Rogers was part of, led by Brock Rumlow, the guy who became Crossbones. Almost all of them turned out to be Hydra. H.A.M.M.E.R. S.H.I.E.L.D., but run by Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Funny enough, this is one where the backronym was entirely intentional in-universe. Osborn picked the name and then never bothered to figure out what it would stand for. And while that's a very funny joke and obviously meant to be taken as an indicator of his incompetence at being in charge, come on, I thought of this less than 5 minutes after I decided to try and make a backronym for it myself. And it's at least as good as the one for Wand. And none of this is even getting into Shape, Hate, or the Hope Yard's Development and Relocation Association. Go read the 2015 Ms. Marvel run for that last one, it's great. Some of these organizations might get a deeper dive later on, but for now, I'm just interested to see where Saber factors in, and if it'll end up making the jump to comics itself.